welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so happy to have you here, as well as all of you who are returning. Today I am just doing your normal everyday farmhouse video. I did a poll on YouTube and asked what you guys wanted to see, and the majority of you wanted to see farmhouse. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, so for this first project, I used some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I did not use this paper. I changed my mind, but I did use this home sign from Dollar Tree, my Waverly antique wax, and my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, plus some more you'll see here in a little bit. And then some, I think they were 12 millimeter half beads. So I started off by painting the home sign with my Plaster chalk paint, and I had a really hard time, guys. I had an idea of what I wanted to do with it, and it just wasn't working out. So I ended up, after I painted this, just going to bed and waiting because I had an idea of what I wanted to do with it, but I wasn't sure it was going to turn out. So I decided to just call it a night and sleep on it. And so the next day I decided to go ahead and do it, and I'm so glad I did because I love the way this comes out. So after that was painted, the next day I took my tumbling tower blocks and I hot glued them together in strips of 5. So I had 24 strips of 5 blocks hot glued together. And it did take a little while, I must say, but I am so happy with the end results. So then I took my antique wax, my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle, Mineral, Cashew, my Apple Barrel, Nutmeg Brown, and my Folk Art, it's Coffee Latte, I think. Yeah, Coffee Latte. So I used my antique wax there, and I'm just brushing it on all the top, the sides, and the bottom, and then wiping off the excess. Now, you don't really have to do this side. Only the top and the bottom strip will need this side to be painted, but really, I was doing one side, and then later I realized I didn't have to do that many. So then I took my other paints, and I am going to use them kind of like a stain. So how you do that is you just spray it down with water. Now, it's a lot easier with acrylic paint because your chalk paint is thicker. This, I put way too much of the truffle paint in there. You really don't need very much paint, but you just want to spritz it down until it's a really watery solution, I guess you could say. And then once you have it like you want it, then you're just going to do the same thing and paint it on. So I just painted on 4 more with the truffle brown and wiped off the excess, just like I did with the antique wax. And then I did that with all the rest. I did 4 in each of the other colors, and I watered each color down. So then after that, I lined them up, and I'm using my little square ruler there to make sure it stays straight. But I am doing every other one longer. So like you see my little ruler there, I am taking this and I'm going to hot glue it a 1/2 inch in from the end of the other one. And I do that all the way up. And then I just took some of the jumbo craft sticks and I go ahead and hot glue them onto the back just to give it some added support. Then after that, I took my home sign and I'm just going to use my hot glue. And by the way, I am using Sure Bonder wood glue sticks. I figured that hopefully will give it a stronger bond. So then I took this braided rope I've got off of Amazon. You can find it in my Amazon store if you'd like, or you could just use regular jute rope. That would work fine too, or twine. And I'm just kind of weaving it in and out of those strips that are sticking out farther. Then I turn it around and I'm just going to tack them down with some hot glue on the back. Then after that, I took those beads. I didn't color them. I left them the natural color, and I am just hot gluing one on each one of those little strips that doesn't have the rope. So it's opposite of what the rope is. And I did that on both sides. Then I took my my buffalo check ribbon. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just scrunching it in the middle, making my little Brenda bow. And then I'm just going to tie it with my jute string there. And I will tie a knot, and then I'm going to wrap it around the middle and tie another knot, and then trim off the excess. I really didn't need to do that because I am going to cover it with one of those beads, but oh well. Once I fluffed it and dovetailed the ends, I'm going to hot glue it to the top, and then I'm just adding one of the beads right there in the front. And there it is. And you guys, I absolutely love the way this came out. I am so glad I decided to go ahead and try this. And I did get the inspiration. I saw a picture frame that had like that coloring wood that I really liked. So I wanted to try that. Okay, so for this next DIY, I'm using this candlestick from Dollar Tree, 2 of these birdhouses from Dollar Tree. This other birdhouse I got from Michael's earlier, last year now, I guess. And then I printed out a few sayings from my Cricut that I'm going to use as well. So I'm going to start off by giving the candlestick and the birdhouses all a good painting with my plaster chalk paint there. Once they were all painted, I took my Waverly antique wax and I am just painting the fence and the base of the birdhouse there. And you can see that the chimney was painted black. I didn't like it, so I ended up painting, going over it with my white or my plaster chalk paint and then the antique wax as well. Then after that, I took my antique wax and I am painting or waxing, whatever you want to call it, the top of that one birdhouse that looks like it is shingles, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And then after that, I just kind of painted the little perch there. And then I'm just doing a soft distressing all around that. If you see the other ones, they're really distressed. I decided I didn't want it distressed that much, so I did end up going over it with some more of the plaster and then distressed it lightly. And I did the same with the candlestick, but on the bottom here, I'm just taking more of that antique wax and I'm just painting it a solid color with that wax. And then after that, I am taking my E6000 and my hot glue and I'm just putting it along the bottom part of that candlestick. I turned it upside down because I wanted to use the bottom as the top. So then I just took the one birdhouse that had the fence and put it on top of the candlestick. I'm using just hot glue here and I am gluing it to the side of the roof of that birdhouse. And then I'm taking the last birdhouse and I am gluing it to the opposite side of the roof of the second birdhouse, just like you see there. And then, you guys, I should have done this before I glued the houses together, but after I glued them together, I'm like, what was I thinking? So I went ahead and I just carefully got my little words transferred onto each house, and it says nest, sweet nest instead of home, sweet home. Get it? So then after I got that all on, I took some moss and I put it right in where that little fence was because it had an opening. And then I took some of these little flowers. I'm not sure what they call these. I got these from Dollar Tree as well as that moss. And I'm just cutting them down and sticking them inside of that moss there. And I just do a few little ones. And I just think it came out looking really sweet. It just gives it a sweet little look. And then after that, I'm going to take some jute twine I took some of this burlap ribbon. It's got some kind of a lace and burlap. I got it on Amazon. It should be in my Amazon store. And I'm just wrapping it around. You can use anything though. You could use the Dollar Tree burlap and lace ribbon that they have. That would look really good too. And so then after that, I took some jute twine here, and I am just hot gluing it to the front of that bottom part of the birdhouse. Then I took some more jute twine, and I just put little bows right above each of the holes inside, or where on the birdhouses. And there it is. I think it turned out really cute. And you'll have to let me know what you think about it. It's a little whimsical, but yet a little farmhouse, and just, I don't know, different and cute is what I say. Okay, if you want to follow me on social media, you can find the links to my Facebook and Instagram pages in my link tree in the description box, as well as a link for a Buy Me a Coffee if you would like to do that as well. Okay, so for the next project, I used 4 of these little fence crates, a picture from Dollar Tree, some Boxwood, I think I got that from Walmart, and then some floral foam. So I start off by trying to take the hangers off, and I tell you, they have them stapled in there, and they are stapled good. I was trying all kinds of things to get it off, and finally I used this little like pick, and that was the best thing to really get underneath the leftover rope there to get it off. But I finally got them all off. And then I just, I'm sorry, I didn't show this, but I did paint all of them with my Plaster color chalk paint. So once they were all painted, here I'm just using some hot glue, and I'm using the Surebonder wood glue sticks, and I'm just going to glue all of the little fence pallets to that picture, which is now going to be kind of like a stand inside. Then once I had them all on, I took some of the floral foam, and I'm just cutting it down to fit inside there. And then just using a little bit of hot glue just to keep it in place. Then I'm just going to cut down the boxwood, and I'm just going to start filling up the floral foam with the boxwood. And I did use 2 bushes, and I just filling it all up. I decided, I don't have a lot of greenery in my house. I cannot keep plants alive for the life of me. So, fake plants do the best for me. So then I just took my antique wax. I decided I wanted to do some dry brushing on the fence here. Now, if you don't like dry brushing or distressing, you don't have to do that. You could just leave it like it was if you recreate it. But I liked a little bit of the distressing. And then my little Oliver, he came in to see me. He's laying in his little bed from my freshly cleaned craft room. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have a link for it in my description box so you can check out what I did to this room. Then after I got done talking to my puppy, I took this ribbon here that I got from Dollar Tree. It's the burlap and lace ribbon. I cut it down, and I'm just hot gluing it to the, wrapping it around and hot gluing it to the back of my little planter that I made. And then I'm just going to take the end of that ribbon and tuck it inside. That way it gives it a nice finished look in the back. And then after I have that all done, I'm going to take some more of that ribbon, and I'm just going to make another bow, my Brenda bow, which you make the awareness sign and scrunch down the middle. Use something to tie the middle, which this time I'm just using twine instead of usually I use a twist tie. And I couldn't find the other end. It was hiding behind the tail there. So then I just tie a knot in this, and then I trim it. And then I'm just going to dovetail the ends, fluff up the bow, and hot glue it right to the middle of the front on that ribbon there. And I think this came out looking so cute, and it's so simple, you guys. You'll have to let me know what you think of it as well, but I just think it's really cute. I love those fence pallets. I've always thought that they were just adorable. Okay, for this next DIY, I am using this plaque that I got from Dollar Tree, a sign from Cricut MySpace, and some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. So I start off by pushing the back part of this out of the frame. It is stapled in, so you just have to push a little bit. Then I use my my spatula to scrape off the coffee word, and as well as the little residue that it left there. And then after that, I am going to trim down the paper and cut it to size. Now I'm making this sign. My sister has a blanket ladder, and the other day I told her, you know what, you need a sign that says let's get cozy on there, and she loved that idea. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make her that sign. So I am just going to use my glue stick here, and I am going to cover that picture with my glue stick, and then I'm going to add the wood looking paper to that. And then I'm going to trim down the polka dotted paper to be a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to glue that on the other paper as well. And then I'm going to add my decal on there too. If you are new here, I just want to say welcome. I am so glad that you are here with me today. If you are liking what you see, I would really hope and encourage you to hit that subscribe button and become part of our family, and then hit the like button and let me know you are new here. I'd love to get to know you. I love it when all of you guys comment because I love to answer you back, and I just love to get to know you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And not only that, guys, I have my 1-year anniversary on YouTube coming up March 5th, I think it is. And I would love to hit my 5,000 subscribers by then. I haven't hit it. I was hoping to hit it before the end of the year, but that didn't happen. So, if you like this, share this video with somebody that you know, so that maybe that can help me reach my goal. So after I got the paper all done, I took my wax, and I am just trying to scuff up this frame. Now, this is not a wood frame. The coating on it is like a real slippery coating. So it didn't do a dry brushing too well. So I just decided to just kind of smear the antique wax over it just to darken it up so it wasn't so white. So it just kind of gives it more of a rustic farmhouse look. Then after that, I took my hot glue, and I'm just gluing all around the inside of the frame. And then I'm going to put my little plaque right inside of there. And then there I noticed that the hanger was upside down, but that was okay because I was wanting to go put string on it anyways. So then I decided I was going to outline the edges with some more of that braided rope that I used in the first DIY. And so I just go around the whole inside of the picture with that rope. And then after I get that done, I tie a knot at the end, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the back. And then I do the same to the other end and tie and hot glue it to the back. And this way she can have this hanging off of her blanket ladder, and I just think it's going to be so cute. So then I took some of this lace ribbon from Dollar Tree, made a little shoestring bow, and hot glued that right on top as well. And that's all there was for this one. Super easy. I think it's going to be really cute. What a cute sign to have by your blankets. Whenever we go over there, I don't know, we're always cold at our house. We are always grabbing her blankets. So there it is. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And if you think you might try and recreate any of these, I'd love to know. And then here is the final reveal of all 4. I just love the way they came out. It took me a while to get inspired on what to do, but I am so happy with each one and how they all came out. So let me know what you think about them, if you liked them, which one was your favorite, if you think you're going to recreate them. I'd love to know all of that. And again, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you join us and become part of our growing YouTube family. So with all that being said, guys, I will be live on YouTube Saturday night. I hope you will join me and watch me do some chalk couture. And then I will be in a challenge on Tuesday, the Power Tool Challenge. So have those notification bells set and have a great week. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.